Lots of sporting activities in the world of sport, from football to basketball to tennis to table tennis, amongst others, and it's on and on and on. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game On, the program that brings you up to speed concerning happenings in the world of sport. On the show, we dissect, we analyze, we talk about trending issues in the world of sport, and of course, we have our own, ideologies, and also you have yours at home concerning the issues we talk about. I am Favour, Itua. Of course, I'm not alone in the show this evening. I've got two wonderful gentlemen, and they've been with me since, one of them was around on Monday. The other, of course, have been around from Monday up until now. But on my far right, I've got Adebari joins us this evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Favour. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
And the Champions League night, we have to take you away from what is happening in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think it's exciting times in the Champions League. I think yesterday was very, very exciting, and no one predicted the results. And I've been glued to my seats since the first half started. So yeah, lots of things to look forward to as well, aside football.
All right, I've got a veteran when it comes to the world of sport and the world of sports reportage, especially in the aspect of writing, not forgetting that. Deputy Editor, Sporting Life, Onyewuchi joins us this evening. Welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure, Favour. Sometimes when you call me veteran, it makes me look so old. I'm still young, So this veteran toga is making me.
I think he's the perfect definition of black doesn't crack.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, forever young.
That's why I'm still young. I'm as young as.
I agree. Definitely.
But you said you are not alone. I hope you are not a Liverpool fan. They don't walk alone. But
well, Liverpool, they've been working alone of late. And that's why if you notice, one of our own colleague, at the moment she's facing some, All right, talking about football and the bans when they talk about teams in the Premier League, the UEFA Champions League, one thing is certain, either you win, you lose, or you draw. But straight to business, we'll start from non-football stories and talking about table tennis. Aaron Akodri did not, of course, make his fans smile today after, crashing out from the ITTF World Cup. Nigeria's highest-ranked table tennis player, Aaron Akodri, has exited the ITTF World Cup in Macau, China, following a 1-3 defeat to world number 17, Freitas Marcos. Now, it was a total dominance from the Portuguese as Akodri lost the first three sets, 12-10, 11-9, 11-9. But, of course, he came back. His comeback was not enough as he won that fourth set, 11-3. And he will not be part of the round of 16. Onyewuchi, before now, Aaron Akodri remained the only African to have qualified or made the quarterfinals. But this time around, that record will not stand because, of course, Omar Assar is close to making it to the quarterfinals. Yeah,
we all rooted for him. We all felt that after the African Games, that Aaron Akodri could surpass the records that he set some time ago. That's surpassing the quarterfinal feat he achieved. But, these things happen. You see, these younger players are evolving, and it's difficult for somebody who is much, much older, to compete. He won 3 sets, and Aaron just won one set. It shows that a lot of investments have been put into these players. And, we really have to commend Aaron Akodri for what he has achieved, because he gets little or no support. I've traveled outside this country to go and watch him at the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia, and I saw, the kind of technical assistance that his opponents, some of the countries that we faced, had. They had world-class coaches. They had a lot of investment. I asked some of the opponents, and they told me that the federation spent a lot of money, to prepare them. So you see, sometimes we might sit down here and say, okay, he didn't make it, but a lot of things have happened. And this guy is just like, trying to, squeeze water out of stone. And for what he has achieved is basically, his own accomplishment. It's what he has put in that, he has achieved. And I feel sorry for him, but what can we do?
Well, talking about what we can do and what we cannot do at this point, some weeks ago or some days ago, about a week ago, we spoke about Aaron Akodri, lashing out at the world body concerning the treatment, the fact that they want them to compete, and yet they're not responsible for these players. You look at Aaron Akodri at the moment, so many issues surrounding him at this time, but he's not living up to that Aruna Kodri we always see whenever he comes into tournament? Do you think it's a sign for him to say maybe after these Olympics, he could just hang his bat and say, I don't want to play table tennis, maybe the national scene, just focus on club side?
I think it would be unfair. For someone like Aruna Kodri, I think he'll want to leave when the vision is loudest. And for him, he needs to leave on his own terms, considering what he has been through in his career. I think fighting through different challenges and always putting himself in the best position and in the best place to represent Nigeria and Africa as a whole. I think he owes it to himself, if not anybody, to leave when the ovation is loudest. Speaking about his recent match against the Portuguese Quadri, I think the last time they met was in 2017. He lost again to him as well. So sometimes, there are just some players that just have your number. And just like what Mr. Onyewuchi said, considering the kind of teams, or rather the kind of entourage that most of these players do have as compared to Aruna Kodri, most people always have, they have the personal coach, they have a fitness trainer going with them, they've got a nutritionist as well. Some people even go to the length of having a coach who works on their mental health as well. So, in comparison to Aruna Kodri, who probably would only go with maybe one or two people. So, it takes a lot to make a champion, but for Aruna Kodri, he has been doing it the hard way. He has gotten this far, irrespective of the issues they has been having. Just like you mentioned, most recently, he's been with the world body of tennis, and he's been able to propel himself to even go for this tournament yet again. So for me, I think he still has a lot to offer us, especially the next generation as well. And for me, I want him to leave when the ovation is loudest. All
right, when the ovation is loudest, by the way, for Omar Assad, he's through to the round of 16. In his own match, he was able to go past Shunsuke Tongami, and then we'll get to see him in the round of 16, being the only representative from Africa. And that's also big. Yes, we can actually lend our support to him. He's been doing a lot when it comes to the world of table tennis. Talking about Omar Assad. All right, away from table tennis, we now go straight to the Olympics. The fever is here, the buzz is here, and you can look at what has been happening in the last few days, especially the last few hours. For Japan, they are the latest to officially release their apparel for the Paris Olympics and Paralympics Games. They did that today, being Wednesday, with 100 days to go until the Olympic ceremony. The bright red tops are inspired by the French capital sunrises, while the use of recycled materials contributed to a 34% cut in greenhouse gas emissions in their manufacture compared to those for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Now, gymnast Yaki Hashimoto, who won 2 gold medals at the Tokyo Olympics, attended the day's press conference in Tokyo with other athletes, including volleyball player Yuji Nishida, and of course, not forgetting Boccia player Takayuki Hirose. Now, Japan, latest country to release their apparels. Don't forget, USA also did theirs about some weeks ago. And looking at the preparation, it seems that some countries are doing it better than what we have right here in West Africa, or even Africa at large.
Yeah, you see, the best time to prepare for every game, maybe the Olympics, Commonwealth, or whatever tournament, in every fashion, is immediately after that tournament. And in some of these countries, what they have done is that immediately after the Olympic Games, the Commonwealth, they make something like an evaluation. The technical people send in their reports, the coaches send in their reports. If they look at it and they start preparations. This is part of the preparations. Like a football match is only about 90 minutes. Some of these games, athletics, swimming, don't last more than 5 minutes. So, but a lot of preparation will go into it. And this is part of the preparation. We have had instances in the past. At the last Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, there was issue of a kit scandal involving the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. At the last Olympic Games, we were in tatters, as regards, kits arrangement. So these people, Japan and some of these countries that are well organized, have realized that you need to pay attention to details. You have to get the kits right. You have to get the preparations right. Everything is important. And that's what they are doing. It boosts the morale of athletes. You can imagine the athletes, the Team Japan athletes, having this kind of unveiling, showcasing, involving some of the star athletes in that country. It boosts the morale of the athletes. And that's what we've been saying. We need to get things right. We don't need all this fire brigade approach. It's all encompassing. you must get everything involved. I know sometimes you go to tournaments and they keep on saying Nigerian spirit, Nigerian spirit. It doesn't work all the time. The only spirit is what they are doing. Make sure that everything is taken care of. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science.
All right, Opey, I'd like to also take a cue from what Onyewuchi has said. In Nigeria, till now, we don't have a date. We don't even know the kit sponsor. We don't know whatever it is that has to do with the apparel. At the last Olympics, we remember there was a case of issues between the former Minister of Sport, if I remember, and the kit, the person who was in charge of the kit. Some athletes were also complaining, but this is 2024 with less than how many months to go? We have less than 100 days to go to the Olympics. Yet nothing is being said about what Nigeria or Team Nigeria will wear during the Olympics.
Yeah, thinking about it, 2 weeks ago, a Nigerian athlete, when a certain sponsor released the jersey for the US, he sent them to me and he said, "Oh, this looks very nice. I hope ours is going to be the same." I then asked him, and I said, "Do you have any idea when Nigeria's one is coming out?" He just responded with 3 laughing emojis. And I think those 3 laughing emojis can probably explain the state of our country when it comes to preparing for tournaments like this. I think we just always rely on quote unquote the Nigerian spirit, but we need to do better if we want good results.
All right, if you want good result. By the way, during the unveiling, the athletes of Japan had a lot to say, especially about the new apparel.
体の反応っていうのはすごくいい状態で、試合も臨めていますし、練習でもできているので、この調子いいのをうまくパリに向けて合わせていけたらいいなと思ってます。
All right, why the Japanese athletes are happy about the kit released by their country is not the same, especially talking about the United States of America, who, of course, released their own kits for the athletes about some weeks ago. Don't forget, the athletes, especially the female athletes, were not happy about the revealing of the apparel as per, the sensitive areas of the women's body, and that's something they didn't really like about how they were the manufacturers of these particular kits, went about that way. But then several women athletes, of course, have taken aim at the leopard uniform revealed by Nike as part of his launch. And former U.S. national 5,000 meter champion Lauren Fleshman decried the design in an Instagram post, saying it was unsuitable for competition. United States Athletics Federation responded, saying that athletes had been consulted during the development of the Olympic uniforms. And again, which I did like also ask, and I think you probably will also share the same thought. If you say you consult the athletes, did you consult everyone or just a few of them and say, okay, if you're good with it, everybody should be fine with it?
It's obvious that it was just random, consultation. Because if it was not, then the athletes will not be complaining. And this is not the first time that US will be having issues with kids for the Olympic Games. I remember some years ago, lawmakers in US were asking the Olympic organization in the US, why would they send their kids to China to produce, and that it was not in the national interest. And they argued that China is the only country that can mass produce, that can meet deadline. They'll be having issues. US is a country where everybody has a right to express their opinion. You cannot suppress the opinion of people. They say
it will not be used against them.
Yeah, it will not be used. They will say the way it is. So it shows that they didn't consult widely. And if they had consulted widely, I think I have some reservations about what I'm saying. Because you also need to take into cognizance. Some are Muslims, some are Christians, some are atheists. Some don't believe in God. So they are moralists. So you need to take into consideration every facet of the society. And from what I've seen, I think it was just a random consultation. They didn't consult widely.
All right, we know, of course, one thing is key for the athletes, comfortability. They want to be okay. They want to be able to compete without having issues with their costumes and their wares. Do you think that the United States would go ahead to make a change, not like a total change, but at least address this issue? They've come out to defend it, but a lot of athletes are still saying this is not enough. We need drastic actions to be taken.
So for me, I think if there's going to be any change, in unison, the female athletes need to come together and say, okay, we do not want to wear this particular apparel. I think the only damning factor about it is that if they decide not to wear that particular kit, which has caused an uproar, everyone would be limited to one particular style of kit, which is going to be more of the covering shorts. Now, for certain athletes, it's probably not comfortable for them. Some want it to be a bit more free. So it's going to be an issue whereby I think the women need to come together and say, okay, we are not going to wear any of the kit that has been provided for us. So if the women don't come together in one voice, I do not think there's going to be a change because of the variety in the uniform, in my own opinion. And I would like to play the devil's advocate and say, some women might be okay with that and some others are not. I believe those who are not okay with it were the ones that spoke out, in my opinion. So it's going to be a game of numbers right now because it's a couple of days left to the Olympics. If they do not want it, they need to come together in one voice and say, we do not want to wear this kit.
All right, wait to see what happens with this particular apparel that has been condemned by some athletes in the United States of America. Away from there, I will go straight to the world of chess. Now, one man who had a dream some years ago decided to take to the streets of Lagos to ensure that young kids are groomed in the world of chess. He has decided also to take a step further to break a record or to attempt a record in the world of chess. Talking about Tunde Onokoya, the founder of Chess and Slums Africa, has announced his plan to play chess continuously for 58 hours without losing a game from 10 a.m. on April 17th to 8 p.m. on April 19th in the Times Square, New York City. Now, Onokoya said he is doing it for the dreams of millions of children across Africa without access to education. I mean, this is brilliant. Now, we thought it was something that was just being said, but he has taken a step further and is a reality. Today is the 17th. Yes, we know we are ahead of the United States of America, but the young man has decided to ensure that he sends a message to young kids in the world of chess by breaking a record.
Definitely. Tunde is someone who is very, very passionate about less privileged children. That's why he's been going about with the Chess for Change program, and he's drawn a lot of sponsors globally. A lot of world bodies are involved with him. A lot of prominent individuals are working with him as well to help these kids. And he's someone who's just passionate about giving a better future to children who do not have that enabling environment, or they don't have people who can help them do better. And it's fantastic that he's using the sport called chess. It's a very cerebral game, and it helps to develop their brains as well, and will help them academically. So for me, it's a great thing he's doing, and I'm glad that he has gone to this extent.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed as to the record, and we hope that he does that and, of course, come out victorious. Away from the chess community, now let's go straight to basketball. And talking about basketball, just about some hours ago, the United States of America released a star-studded squad for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games in the world of basketball. LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant will spearhead a star-studded United States Olympic basketball squad chasing a 5th straight gold medal at the Summer Games, according to the team. Meanwhile, USA Basketball confirmed a formidable 12-man roster bristling with NBA talent that has also included reigning most valuable player Joel Embiid, along with Boston Celtics standout Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday. Los Angeles Lakers star James is also amongst the players released. Don't forget, the NBA's all-time leading scorer will be competing in his 4th Olympics after appearance at 2004, 2008, and the 2012 Games. Now, joining us all the way from Chicago, United States of America, is Kayode Ahmed. He joins us this evening, but of course afternoon over there, to discuss about the big news that has just come out from the United States of America. Good evening and welcome to Game On.
Hello, Favour. Great to be on the show, and good evening to Onyewuchi and Mr. Adebari.
Yeah.
All right. The news came to us. Yes, a lot of persons expected the star-studded squad, but interestingly, LeBron James still makes the list, considering his age and yes, his experience. What do you make of this of the squad? Let me just get your opinion on that.
Well, I would say it's tantamount to the dream team of Barcelona 1992, and what we witnessed from them in '96, year 2000 in Sydney, until they suffered a relapse, so to speak, when they lost in the semi-finals to the Argentine national team in 2004. And afterwards, they've been clinching the gold in 2008, 2012 in London, Rio 2016, and of course Japan in 2020/2021, if you recall, it held in 2021 due to COVID. And for the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, LeBron James. I was quite surprised that he was included in the team. But basically, his inclusion makes it even a notch higher in terms of the star-studded nature of the team, and having the likes of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, who would embark on a mission of possibly winning the most gold if the USA national team are able to clinch the gold this time around. Although for Steph Curry, it's going to be his first time at the Olympics. He was supposed to be there in 2016, but injury proved difficult, and it was an aborted mission. But I'm curious to see how Joel Embiid, who originally is from Cameroon, but who committed last October to play for the Team USA, would fare for the team. So when you look at the likes of LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, and the likes of Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns, Drew Holiday, and of course, Kawhi Leonard, who just got added late last night from the Los Angeles Clippers. You just can't look beyond this thing, knowing that when the NBA players are involved at the Olympics, they go all out, and they are definitely the team to beat, despite having in their group the likes of Serbia and South Sudan, which is an African connect, but you just can't look beyond Team USA going all the way at the Paris Olympics later this summer.
All right, then, Kayode, for me, I think surprise inclusions had to be, first of all, Joel Embiid, and then Bam Adebayo. I mean, at the end of the day, they do deserve to be there. But in your own opinion, with a coach like Stephen Kerr, what do you think his starting five is going to be? And probably who do you think are going to be the most influential players in Team USA?
Well, no doubt Stephen Kerr is spoiled for choice. For Joel Embiid, like I said, I'm curious to know how he's going to fare in the team. But for the MVP, he is worth his onions definitely, and can make his inclusion count whenever the time comes. Stephen Kerr has been in the team before now. He was the assistant to Greg Popovich in 2021 and when he won in Japan, and is quite familiar with this group of players. Stephen Kerr is a four-time NBA champion as a coach with the Golden State Warriors. So basically, it's about form and who wants it more. It's going to be very, very, very competitive, like we've seen with the Team USA over and over again. LeBron James, barring any injury or what have you, would definitely be in the starting team, as well as Kevin Durant. But whoever starts with the Stephen Kerr team, it's a team that you can close your eyes and say they would likely want to clinch the victory, starting with the group stage. I don't want to jump the gun, basically. But for Stephen Kerr, I don't think it's going to be an headache, because even if the likes of LeBron James or Steph Curry do not start, you got a Jason Tatum, you got a Devin Booker, who is a star point guard for the Phoenix Suns, and he was there 4 years ago. And of course, for Bam Adebayo, who has somewhat struggled with the Miami Heat this season, usually it's going to be a different kettle of fish when it comes to the national team. But the competitive nature of the NBA will be brought to bear, knowing that the European teams would want to give them a run for their money. And interestingly, Team USA is in the same group with Serbia. Serbia has got the Joker, talking about Nikola Jokic, who plays for the Denver Nuggets. So it's going to be quite dicey. But based on the nature of how good individually these players are, if Steve Kerr is able to get them to play like a team like this should, definitely they'll be too difficult to handle.
All right, I want us to look at the man from Cameroon, Joel Embiid. We all know that, of course, is now with the United States of America. I would like to ask you, how much of a miss is he to Cameroon and Africa at large?
It's definitely a miss. For somebody who benefited from Basketball Without Borders, BWB, in 2011, and for somebody who Cameroon had high hopes in, knowing that he was the first African to emerge MVP since Hakeem Olajuwon did it in the mid-90s. Africa had so much hope that he was going to at least represent the Cameroonian national team and sort of give back with his star status into not just Cameroon as a nation, but Africa as a continent. I met with him in 2018 in Joburg at the NBA Africa game, but you could tell that he wasn't that committed to representing Cameroon. At first, we thought it was going to be France that was going to represent, but eventually he pitched tent with Team USA. And Grant Hill, the managing director of Team USA, actually poached him because he was on the back of representing France before making a U-turn to representing Team USA. No doubt, a big miss. Personally, I'm disappointed because I would have loved him to at least contribute more to the development of the game on the continent of Africa. But it is what it is. He has made his choice, but we just got to respect that.
All right, and finally from me, I'd like to also ask that, yes, of course, the NBA, you talk about United States of America, plethora of talent and big players. Against other basketball nation in Europe, you did mention about what to expect, but in the Olympics, do you think it will further settle, this kind of beef for some who feel that basketball resides in Europe compared to the United States of America and Canada?
Well, in terms of the pizzas, the razzmatazz, the US has it. Canada trying to play catch-up. I recall Canada beating USA at the FIBA World Cup last year in the third place game. And with a crop of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander making the inclusions count with the OKC Thunder, you would say that the North American teams are quite solid. But European basketball is quite gritty. And we see how Europeans are able to hold their own in the NBA. You can say that with Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. And of course, the Joker, like we said, Nikola Jokic, who helped the Denver Nuggets win their first NBA title last season. Know that the Europeans will want to give them a run for their money. Do not also forget that the South Americans, the Argentines, are equally a good side. We definitely would want to make the inclusions count. But because of the star power and the fact that the Olympics always get to bring out the best in everything, be you from North America, South America, and Europe, but coaching prowess plays a part. And that is the edge that the NBA coaches have got. Okay. You will not want to look beyond the US national team, but the Europeans and the South Americans, especially Argentina, will want to give them a run for their money.
All right, thank you very much, Kayode Ahmed, for your time. You've really given us in-depth analysis as concerning the world of basketball and the unveiling of the squad by the United States of America ahead of the Olympics. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, that was Kayode Ahmed talking about the chances and what to expect on the United States of America squad ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics. Interesting time ahead, especially for basketball lovers when it has to do with the Olympics. Welcome back. You're still watching Game On. We had lots of conversations surrounding basketball, table tennis, chess, and this time around it's time to take you straight to football. I will be starting from home, as Charity this starts from home, and we're talking the Nigerian Women Football League Match Day 13 results in different centers in Nigeria as teams are getting close to securing the slots for the Super 6. In Group B, the results: Robo Queens played at the goalless draw against Delta Queens. Sunshine Queens in Akure won against Ekiti Queens. That's a Southwest derby in that particular fixture. Edo Queens won against Remo Stars Ladies. Goal scorer MMSN got a goal in that one. And Rivers Angels, a South-South derby. Interestingly, were able to grind that result and to qualify for the Super 6, winning Bayelsa Queens 1-0. Now straight to Group A. Heartland Queens won against Naija Rattles 2-1. Abia Angels lost at home to Confluence Queens 2-0. Royal Queens of Warri defeated Danas Ladies 3-0. And Nassarawa Amazons were better off Adama Queens 2-1. Onyewuchi, Rivers Angels, we're talking about the fixture some days ago, but then they've been able to secure the spot for the Super 6.
Well, the reasons are very glaring. They are well funded and they have consistency in their technical crew, and the players, some of them are also members of the national team. So you expect so much, and they have delivered over the years. And the records are there. Azizato Shuala used to play for Rivers Angels. A lot of players, even Oluehi, who's a reserve goalkeeper for Super Falcons. So these are star-studded squad. So you expect nothing less from them. They should be the first to qualify. If they didn't do that, then it would have become a big news. And so for some of the teams like Delta Queens and Robo, playing goalless draw, you expect that it's going to be tough because these are also traditional teams. Robo just came in, privately owned club, some years ago, and they've been doing well. Aziza Toshola used to play there. Rasheedat Ajibade also played for Robo Queens. And I'm particularly happy that Heartland Queens are doing us proud. Heartland, the men's team, have broken our hearts severally. They're always getting promotion and relegated, and from every indication, it's like it's pointing to the fact they're going to be relegated this season. Because they just lost.
We should have hope.
Where's the hope? They just lost a Southeast derby, against Rangers 1-0, and
against Eyimba International.
Against Eyimba, beg your pardon, and they are just behind, above Gombe United, who are also destined for relegation. And
but you should be used to it. I mean, Atlant FC.
I know you're getting back at me, but these things is also unfortunate. You have the bragging right, but you are also in the same boat because Aqua United are also not doing well.
Well, they were champions 2 seasons ago.
but what did they have to show
Atlant too have played in the final of the CAF Champions League against TP Mazembe. That was the glory days, and we expected that.
But nearly they say cannot kill a bear.
Well, it's one of those things.
All right, of course, for Heartland Queens, they've been doing very well this season, but the men's side, they've not been doing so well. Maybe they say, like the saying goes, what a man can do, a woman can do even more. Maybe that's what is happening with Heartland Queens. But let's now go straight to the men's team. We had a game today in Gombe, the Pantami Stadium, where Doma United played out a 1-1 draw against Remo Stars. Doma United got a goal exactly 45 minutes in that game, but Remo Stars also left it late to equalize. Unduka was the man who got the equalizer for the Daniel Ogumodede side. And let's take a look at the table and what it says at the moment. We know, of course, that Rangers International, courtesy of that win against Abia Warriors, they're top of the table, 54 points. Eyimba International second on the log with 51 points, and Lobby Stars third after the defeat to Shooting Stars of Football Club of Ibadan. They are currently with 51 points, but then Remo Stars went from 5th to 4th after that draw to be 50 points. A 4 or 5 horse race we're looking at in this season. We're looking at Lobby, we're looking at Rangers, Eyimba, Remo Stars. Shooting Stars are even looking at the opportunity too, and they're saying they can also win the league.
Definitely. I think for me, the top 5, if you're going to predict it, you might just get it wrong because any of the teams can switch positions. And at the end of the day, just like I said yesterday, for me, it's all about the team who is going to have the most consistency and discipline, because the last couple of fixtures for these top 5 sides, if you take a look at it, there's no really easy fixture for any of the top 5 sides. So if anyone wants to win the trophy, if anyone wants to qualify for the CAF Champions League and whatnot, they need to be able to win their remaining games and score enough goals, because the goal difference margin is also quite slim.
8 more games to go, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, 8 more games to go. It's going to be difficult, just like I said. And for me, the NPFL is one of the most unpredictable leagues in world football. Like it or not, it is what it is. And if you want to be the victors for the Nigeria Professional Football League, you need to have consistency and discipline. I don't think luck really shines so much in the NPFL. You just need to do your business on the pitch. And at the end of the day, we will find out sooner than later. But in the coming into the last maybe 3 games, it might become clearer because some teams might want to should I say, take their foot off the gas in terms of managing their squad as well. Some players will get into that point where some players have fatigue. And then I'm also thinking about the fact that Rivers United are yet to play a good number of games. So I'm wondering how they're going to fare when they play those outstanding games. So for me, it's going to be highly predictable once again.
All right. Let's look at Rangers particularly. Rangers seem to be consistent. They went, first of all, 10 straight unbeaten run. And the unbeaten run was stopped. Then eventually they came back again to winning ways. They look to have that momentum going for them at the moment. Also looking at Lobby Stars, not forgetting about Rangers International winning the league again after Imam Makapabo did it some years ago, I think 2016.
Yeah. You see, you have to look at the structure. You have to look at those running the club. Barrister Amobi has done so well. He's a young man. And that was why I was worried when I heard he was trying to play, get involved in playing. You just concentrate on managing the club and leave the playing aspect of it. And because he's doing a great. I just read a story yesterday that they unveiled a DJ, who started yesterday playing entertaining the fans during matches.
But are you sure the players were not dancing because they conceded 2 goals? The game ended 3-2.
No, football is entertainment, and you need to attract the crowd. We're talking of making money because you need money to pay the players. You need money to run the club. So if people, naturally Nigerians like entertainment, they like to have fun. And, if you have a jam-packed stadium, you can begin to calculate, hazard a guess, how much the management is making. So that's part of management. Then the technical crew, Fidelis Illich, we all know his story. Everybody,
of course, Favour.
We know how he started with MFM. He went to Heartland, the same story. There was no money, and he left Handler and went to Plateau United. He was able to, start his stuff there, and he's doing so well with Rangers. So they kept faith with him. When they started, they had issues. They were not winning as much as they wanted, but immediately they went to do their strides. That 10-match unbeaten run that you made mention of, and see the way they are. See, they are on top of that, and they are also, they are fancying their chances of winning the league. And Lobby Stars are the closest to them, but from what I'm seeing, I think the players are well motivated, and they are. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are the only club that have a training pitch very close to where the players are living. So it's easy, for them, for them to, train. It's easy for the players to, get into their strides, and the management is doing a wonderful job. Every time you read very positive things, the vibes, from the management level.
Square peg and square hole.
Absolutely. So this is the model we want to see. We don't want to be seeing what happened in the battle when the deputy governor of Benue State left all the problems in the state to come and train with the club in the battle.
Maybe he's taking a cue from the former deputy governor of Edo State.
No,
that's the wrong cue.
We have enough, the politicians have enough problems to handle. There is insecurity, there is unemployment, a lot of issues in the states for them to handle. Leave football for football people. You have employed some people, the chairman, the secretary and all that. Leave them to handle the clubs and focus on issues of running the state.
All right, before we leave the table and the NPFL, I would like to put you guys on the spot. Yes, you guys have said that you are not sure, talk about the teams and everything, but pick a team you think will win the league this season with 10 games to go.
It's difficult, like Opeyemi said. Clubs are becoming desperate. You saw what happened. Remo Stars went to Doma to go
and let's not forget, Rivers United, if they win their 7 outstanding matches, that's 21 points.
How are they going to win 7 outstanding matches?
Anything is possible.
I'm just saying, mathematically, if they have 21 points, 21 plus 34.
Yeah, before you arrive at that conclusion, you have to give us the fixtures, the teams they are going to play. If, for instance, they are going to play Yimba and Aba, they are going to play Remo Stars.
One of their games is against Akwa United.
So they are going to play Remo Stars in the Kenya. These are tough teams. So it's not going to be easy. And Rivers United have not been having it easy domestically.
True.
Remember, they helped us, in quotes, on the continent. Because if they didn't get to the quarterfinal, our rankings in coefficient would have, reduced the spots, for our continental slot. So I think we have to give them that comment. But domestically, they have not been doing so well.
All right, we'll wait to see how it goes with the teams with 10 more games to go. And talking about 10 more games to go, Sporting Lagos did actually win their game against Sunshine Stars, but the management of the club decided to take the bull by the horn to, of course, issue or rather part ways with their coach, Paul Offor. Now, it came as a rude shock to some who feel that Paul Offor had not done badly this season, but a lot of persons have said they need to be serious and get maybe a serial winner or one who is, of course, more experienced. But the news came out some hours ago that Paul Offor is no longer the coach of Sporting Lagos. By the way, Sporting Lagos, they are currently 11th on the table, and they'll be looking forward to play their remaining 8 matches without Paul Offor. The news actually from Sporting Lagos, and a lot of persons have been saying, what is really going on with Sporting Lagos? Why now, with 8 matches to go?
I see it as a Roman Abramovich move, quote unquote, for me, because they've been doing quite all right. Their first season in the NPFL, Coach Paul Offor was absolutely brilliant when he took them through the NNL. And coming into the NPFL season, I think they've been trying their best. One major issue is probably the fact that they are yet to register an away win. And that's a problem. If you want to be successful and probably end up in the top half of the table, you need to win away games. But in terms of his management skills, in terms of how he sets up his team, I'm a big fan of him. I like the football philosophy from him and the way he implements football for Sporting Lagos. But definitely, they want to win games and they want to win trophies.
All right, Onyewuchi, Sporting Lagos, we also hear, though it's not confirmed, that Abdullahi Bifo is poised to join the club. Abdullahi Bifo is not a new name in the league, Katsina and different club sides in Nigeria, but the move behind the sack of Paul Offor, do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's something they should have done, or, you know?
Well, I'm not in the minds of the management of the club, but I think they were over-ambitious. You see, they are just coming to the NPFL. We said it, you know, when they came in, with all the ovation and the euphoria, and I think they should be contented with, you know, maintaining their NPFL status. That's what they should have done. Study the environment. The next season, they can begin to target. So I don't know, maybe they felt they could have won a continental ticket and all that, but it's difficult. The league is difficult because when you consider traveling several kilometers, you are going to Gombe, you are going to Kano, you are going to Katsina, it takes its toll on the players. Okay. And sometimes, you know, some clubs have made it easier for the clubs and for their players rather. They travel by air. You know, Remo Stars, you know, is doing it. Ayimba, all of a sudden, they had an arrangement with an airline, and you know, so if they get some points away, it's understandable. But you know, it's difficult. This is the Nigerian Professional Football League, so I think the management were not facing reality. Because if you are sacking the coach at this moment, I understand they are on 11th on the table, 11th? And just 4 points above the relegation drop. But bringing in Abdullahi Bifo at this moment, I don't know what he's going to achieve because the window is closed. He's not going to bring in more players. He's going to work with the same set of players. So let's see the magic is going to perform.
All right, let's see the magic is going to perform. Don't forget, we have 8 matches to go in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Away from the league, now we'll go straight to the national team, talking about the under-17. The Golden Eagles of Nigeria, 51 players have been invited to camp ahead of the 2024 WAFU B under-17 tournament in Ghana. Now, head coach of the side, Manu Garba, did send out this invitation to 51 players ahead of the tournament, which will be played from May 15th to 29th in Accra, Ghana. The coach hinted that the team's camp would open on Wednesday and would have a training session on Thursday, which is, of course, tomorrow. Remember that Garba was appointed by the Nigerian Football Federation as the substantive coach of the team last Friday. With less than a month to the tournament, 51 players invited to camp, and we know, of course, the players will be further trimmed. Don't you think that at the moment it seems that it's too much in terms of personnel, and considering the time factor, is it not a big tax for Manu Garba is giving himself?
Definitely. To me, 51 players sounds like a lot, considering the fact that, I mean, to the press and to everyone else, we don't even know his backroom staff. So in my head, I'm thinking, who else is going to help him scout these players and assess these players? What is going to be the requirement for, at the end of the day, trimming down to squad to probably a 23 to 26-man squad? But at the end of the day, I think he's trying to help himself in terms of how to trim down the squad and choose the best players who are going to represent Nigeria at the WAFU Cup. But 51 players does sound like a lot, but at the end of the day, Manu Garba is an experienced coach. He knows, he's been there before at the under-17 level as well, to be more precise. And I believe he knows his onions. And this is probably, it might just help him get a good squad at the end of the day.
All right, Onyewuchi, one thing about the under-17 squad is the fact that they would actually have to go through the MRI, which is a key factor. 51 players to camp. Is it an idea of if these certain players do not pass MRI, we have more players to pick from?
Sometimes I wonder how we do these things. You know, I was reading. You know, on Monday we said something about this same issue. I was reading yesterday in my office when Manu Garba granted an interview and said he has actually been scouting. So what it means is that the NFF actually contacted him all along that he's going to be the coach. So that's what it means, if you are able to read in between the lines. So he said, you know, it's documented, you know, it's on the public domain that he has been scouting all along and that he doesn't have a problem. So the coach has already boxed himself into a corner. In case he fails tomorrow, nobody is going to hold the NFF responsible. They say, coach, you said, you know, you have been scouting these players all along. But it's crazy. 51 players, less than a month to a tournament in Accra, Ghana. You know, some of the opponents would have been planning all along. These are youthful players.
Okay.
You know, they are not professionals that already know the basic, you know, aspect of football. You are going to train them how to trap the ball, how to make a pass, how to run. So are you going to train these players in less than 4 weeks? Those are the questions. So if Manu Garba is saying he's comfortable, then we cannot sit down here. But if anything happens, then we'll say, coach, you said you were capable. So don't
No excuses.
No excuses.
All right, we'll wait to see what happens with the under 17, and hopefully it will be trimmed to the numbers that would be taken to Ghana. Let's now go straight to Europe. Champions League football on Tuesday. We got to see two games and involving Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. It was Dortmund progressing to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and not also forgetting the other fixture, Paris Saint-Germain got the better of Barcelona to progress to the next round. And since then, I heard that Xavi is not happy with the referee, but of course he has to just live with the result. And PSG and Dortmund are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Aside the refereeing, I watched the game, and for me, I think that Xavi has a lot to do when it comes to his man management and coaching. I think most of the goals that were conceded were down to individual errors at the end of the day. So take away talking about referees. At the end of the day, I think his players let him down, especially talking about Ronald Araujo, who got that early red card, Jean Cancelo giving away that penalty, Jules Koundé gifting a goal away to his French teammate Kylian Mbappe. So for me, many questions to be asked regarding some individuals and the way the team was set up tactically.
All right, Onyewuchi, tonight the game ongoing. Arsenal losing or trailing to Bayern Munich 1-0. And the second game, Manchester City now playing 1-1 against the team Real Madrid. I mean, for Arsenal, they have less than 3 or 4 minutes, and that's of course added time to go. Arsenal. The season seems to be crumbling for them.
I don't know what you want me to say, but Bayern, despite what they are going through, they are giants as far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned. So they will always rise to the occasion. I think people will just delude themselves if they believe that you judge Bayern by what they are doing in the Bundesliga. It doesn't tally. It doesn't tally. Sometimes even Real Madrid, when they are not doing well, they do so well in the Champions League because they know that they have, devised a way of, stepping up their game. They know that is the best. All right. That's the best night in football. I was telling some people in my office that, right from when I was in school, I've been watching the UEFA Champions League. I sneak out to go and watch UEFA, and these players. Right. They want to win this title. So for us now, I feel sorry for you. I hope that you're able to win something this season.
All right, before we go, let's let you know that Robin Keane, yes, that particular player, a man who also played football to the highest level in October 1998, and a 18-year-old Robin Keane ruptured his knee cartilage after attempting to pick up his TV remote. Should we call that a domestic injury?
It's a freak accident. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens, So we have seen people fall in the bedroom. We have seen awkward accidents. So sometimes it happens. These are things you don't have control over.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, interesting times ahead in the world of sport. But of course, the time is not our friend this evening. But I'm very sure you had an amazing time on the show. But I must say thank you to Adebari for joining us this evening. Onyewuchi, Nwachukwu, thank you very much for joining us.
And please stop calling me a veteran.
All right, on behalf of myself, Favour, Itua, thank you very much for watching. The news is up next.